Everybody, I just recorded like 6 minutes of video talking about a bunch of stuff. I went to go check my YouTube because I was checking the name of a YouTuber I met today. I subscribed to his channel. His name is Hunting the Dead, and I thought that was really interesting. I've said several interesting things in the last couple minutes, but I'm kind of tired right now, kind of spiritually overwhelmed. But it was definitely a kind of a special moment meeting another YouTuber, especially very, very impressed by how successful he is. So I'd like to maybe learn a thing or two. And yeah. Um, I thought it was interesting because the name of his YouTube is Hunting the Dead, and I'm a vampire. So I thought that was pretty funny. When he first said it, it was one of those, we're getting coffee kind of things. Just randomly strangers, He's like, yeah, it's. I thought I heard him correctly, but as soon as he said "hunting the dead," I was like, "Is this a real thing, or are you like you ever feel like you're not sure about what someone says because vampires are considered undead, so to speak, you know, or maybe in some fantasies or whatever, So it's like I just thought that was funny. So I lost my phone for a day. Long story short, got it back. Spiritual stuff. Um, Found it at the library. I think someone returned it to me while I got up and went to go do something. And I went, of course, afterward I found it where I was sitting and I got it. And of course I went up to the librarians and I said, hey, I put in a report, lost phone. And as soon as I said that, they start turning around and being, I think they're cute. Anyways, I said, no, ma'am, no, I found the phone. I just want to say thank you. And obviously by your response, it seems as though you did not return the phone, but whoever did, just want to say thank you. So that was nice. My phone is I factory reset it, so it's basically completely useless until I manage to fix it. Yeah, I'm doing a lot of good things, feeling better. I'm changing a lot. I'm reading a very interesting book. I'm reading 3 books at once right now, but one of the books I'm reading is a psychiatric analysis of a syndrome, and the syndrome is called depersonalization. And it sounds like from the authors who are writing this book that at the time of the writing of the publishing, they were trying to say, hey, this is a real thing, and this is our take on it, and this is our evidence, and this is what we believe this to be. And I'm thinking it's really interesting because it gives me different perspective. And as I'm reading it, I kind of feel that specifically what it's talking about, it may not be that. I may not have that specific thing that they're describing, but I may have something akin to it or alike to it, to where I feel perhaps I'm just imagining it. But my point is I'm reading this book, And it talks all about being like out of body experience when you're doing certain things. And it's like, for me, I get kind of overwhelmed because I'm like, well, I like to entertain the idea that there's just like certain things that can be explained like through psychiatric terminology or whatever. Just saying I'm a crazy person. But with all the supernatural stuff, it's just. But I like the. I mean, to me, like I had this realization that what this book is describing, without going into too many details, is a condition of being separated from yourself because of trauma. So you start to lose yourself, or any feelings of attachment to basically your area or what you see or feel. So I think it's interesting how the authors are writing this book, how they're choosing their language very carefully in order to not. It's like part of me is reading this and I'm just like, just say some of the things you want to say. Like I don't know if you've ever talked to someone who's talking around things, but the point is that I realize if you talk about certain subjects, it may have a psychological effect on a person. Like clearly, right now I'm a little shaky and kind of psychotic, but I'm doing it knowing that I can break out of it using my supernatural abilities. But I'm using this opportunity as a growing and a therapy moment as well, because what the point I'm trying to make is that for me, my understanding of using scientific methodology and psychiatry and other fields of science uh, to explain to the best of a person's ability without saying certain wordage that may trigger a uh, psychopathic response. Okay, I use that word very loosely. Not only do I appreciate what the authors are doing, and but I understand and can see a connection to the supernatural. So it's very interesting to read this book, but also want to add on to it from my own wisdom. So I don't know. I mean, I love being delusional. Don't get me wrong. I love it, and I indulge in it, even when it makes me not look good, like right now. But it's so nice. It is so nice because, like, I know I can go supernatural. I can know, yeah, vampire or whatever. It's just like, for me, it's so selfish just being myself right now. Like, do I want to power up? No, no. Do I want to change how I look? No. And part of me, um, going back to specifically saying this is kind of a therapy thing for me, is that I am taking a break from leadership. I am taking a break from spiritual leadership as much as I can. Uh, I know that's not the case, and that's not entirely true because I passively do it. The vampire side of me can passively do it, which frustrates me. But I'm just, I just have an aversion to it. I have an aversion to powering up, and being in communication. It's like I've said in other videos, when I power up or do different kind of transformations, that people become aware. And I'm just like so over it. It feels like an invasion of privacy. Absolutely. Like, have you ever put on? This is what it feels like. I think this is a great example. Let's say you're somewhere. Let's say your apartment or whatever, and you have a really nice shirt or dress. Let's say I put on a nice shirt or dress. Say shirt. Okay, I put on a really nice shirt, and as soon as I put on that shirt and I'm feeling good about that shirt, all the walls of the apartment become transparent, and anybody on the outside can see the shirt I'm wearing. And suddenly there's just like random people, there's like birds. What I'm describing is a metaphor for for higher level transformations as far as being connected spiritually to other people. So I'm like, I don't want to say I'm traumatized by that, by the invasion of privacy. I know I'm using that word. That's very strong language, right? But imagine being supernatural powers and transformations and having to feel that connection and when you don't want to. Imagine being a supernatural and having that issue. It's not an issue. It's not a bad thing, but it's like, man, like, just want to transform and like experience those modifications to my body, my brain, my spirit, and just that's that's the entirety of it. But that's not possible. Like during those supernatural events, if you will, transformations, I am not separated from the world around me, and I'm not separated from the people who are connected to me, or to whatever extent within the proximity of where I am. So it's like, to me, it's never been a bad thing unless I'm, extremely feeling like terrible, which I'm not usually. But I guess this is the first time me talking about this specifically, but it does mess with my mind a bit. I don't know why. It's like it's such an obvious, like, it's for me it's like scientific evidence that I am connected to so much more than I even realize. And like, until a person has scientific evidence of the supernatural, it's just kind of crazy talk. At least that's what I've experienced. But when you get that evidence, it's just like, I don't know why. I like it. I like having the shock of it. There's beauty to it. But I just haven't talked about it. And I realize that if I do power up right now, another thing is that there will be a lot of spiritual stuff, and I'm just like I'm not wanting to experience that. Just want to chill, you know. And I know I don't want to say it's torment. I don't want to say it's work, but it's like my job. I used to think that being a supernatural, being a so-called superhero, was just like, okay, something you look at, it's just like an actor or a model or something, or like you know or an athlete. The athlete's doing their thing. I'm like, but it's not. Nah. there is there's actual work. Most of it being spiritual, and but there are at times when it does using spirituality and supernatural stuff and magic to manipulate the world around me. That's a separate thing than what I would describe as just being purely spiritual, or using abilities remotely, I should say, psychic abilities, spiritual abilities. So it is a lot. It takes a lot from me. I enjoy it. It's my calling. But I'm very reluctant to go under, so to speak. That's the terminology I use, going under. And I'm like, sitting somewhere or laying down, and I feel just submerged and enter that world of spirituality. But I'm probably going to do it because I'm tired now, getting tired. But anyways, thanks y'all for letting me ramble and talk, and it's good for me. And I'll talk to y'all later, and I'll probably make some more videos. So talk to you later.